Hi, hey, hello, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt, and thank you for joining me for an upload today. I really do appreciate that. If you're into the IdahoFour case, then you came to the right spot. We've been discussing this case since it happened on November 13th, and there have been some new developments that have come out the last couple of days that I just wanted to go over in a couple videos with you guys because I did do them on a live last night. It was about an hour long, but some people like the shorter videos, so I'm trying to get better at making the shorter ones for you guys. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's case coverage. But before I go ahead and start reading this, if you guys wouldn't mind, if you do like the content, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment your thoughts below. It really does help my channel grow, and I do read all my comments, and I love to hear what you guys have to say. So like I said, we are going to be discussing the IdahoFour case today, and we are going to be going over Bryan Kohberger's his groupie page. So basically he has, a page for groupies that go on. It's called Bryan Nation. They have different Facebook groups along with different Reddit groups. If you've never been on Reddit, it's basically just a big chat forum that people can get on and they can talk about whatever. So the title of this is Fawning Bryan Kohberger Reddit Community Banned for Violating Code of Conduct. Let me see what it looks like on your side. I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger if I can. Some pages let me, some pages don't. So this is going to be one of the pages that don't. But I'll go ahead and read through this for you guys. It says, a Reddit channel for supporters of Bryan Kohberger, the suspect accused of slaughtering 4 University of Idaho students last year, has been banned. A notice displayed on the now defunctioning Bryan Nation subreddit states that the online community was banned for repeatedly violating Reddit's moderator code of conduct. It is unclear when the Reddit channel was taken offline, nor what specific code of conduct violation triggered the ban. Kohberger, 28, a former criminal justice doctoral student at Washington State University, has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder for allegedly stabbing Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20, to death at their rental home in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th. And there's a picture of him there. Kohberger was taken into custody at his parents' home in Pennsylvania on December 30th following an intense nationwide where does that say nationwide? Oh, I guess that's what it says. And then you go down here and it says, since Kohberger's arrest, supporters have been flocking to social media groups arguing his innocence. Even as the Reddit channel was banned, at least 2 Facebook groups with thousands of members each remained active as of Tuesday. And we did talk about that on a previous live that we saw that the Facebook groups did have upwards of 3,000 members. One of the private group boasts more than 12,600 members. The other one was upward of 3,600. The latter Facebook community, titled Justice for Bryan Kohberger, prominently displays a quote from Ronald Jones, a man who was wrongfully convicted and sentenced to death for rape and murder, which reads, "It's about whether or not you can prove you're innocent. If you can't prove you're innocent, then you're considered guilty. It's been flipped. Now it's guilty until proven innocent." Scott Bond, a criminologist and author of Why We Love Serial Killers, said in an interview on News Nation that there is a spectrum when it comes to people fascinated by accused killers. And I will play that video for you after this. On one hand, there's healthy curiosity, and then on the other hand, it also becomes an obsession, Bond said. The Post reported earlier this month that a Kentucky woman has been sending Kohberger love letters and sultry photos of herself after admitting she is lovesick over the suspected murderer. Brittany Hislop, which we went over her, a 35-year-old single mom to a 16-year-old son, described Kohberger in a rambling Facebook post as the perfect man for her and her divine masculine counterpart. Kohberger has yet to enter a plea, but he previously said through an attorney that he was eager to be exonerated. He is due back in court for a 5-day preliminary hearing beginning on June 26th. So that's what it says on that. that little post there. I wanted to show you that and read that to you guys before I show you the video, because it just gives you a better understanding of these fan groups and what their minds are like. So this guy is very, very smart. He knows the inner workings of people's minds and how, why women love, serial killers, or why women love men that are in jail. So I'm going to play this clip for you here, and then we will talk about it when it is over.
It's so strange to think about. Obviously, a major distinction, because I is a term that a lot of true crime fans absolutely hate, but a pastime that is actually gaining in popularity. Like everything, there are different meanings to the phrase. Some people visit the scenes of crimes to learn about police investigations and add to their own understanding of a case, while others seem to be more about getting likes on social media. And there's a lot of those. We've seen it firsthand in Moscow, Idaho. This new exclusive video shot over the weekend shows multiple people stopping at the King Road house for a photo. You see them there. It's one of the reasons the University of Idaho president says he plans to demolish the house. But it's not just the crime scene that these true crime fanatics are obsessed with. Some are also obsessed with the man who is accused of committing these 4 murders. Yep, this is very, very weird and can be hard to understand, but Bryan Kohberger actually has groupies, as sick as that sound. Facebook pages with names like Justice for Bryan Kohberger. They've got thousands of followers. And just last week, a Reddit thread of Kohberger supporters called Bryan Nation was banned from the site. Thank goodness. So what makes people so infatuated with alleged killers, and in some cases, convicted killers? I'm joined by the guy who understands all of this, Dr. Scott Bond. He is a criminologist and the author of the best-selling book, Why We Love Serial Killers, The Curious Appeal of the World's Most Savage Murderers. His podcast is called Killing Hour with Doc Bond. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Brown. So first of all, I think there's a distinction here. I've been outside a lot of crime scenes where people will drive by and maybe put the window down and take a picture, and they've seen it on the news. And then you've just got crime junkies, which I've got family members and friends that are into true crime. And that seems like one thing. But then you've got this other group that falls in love with some of these serial killers. How does that happen?
Well, that's a great question, and you're right. It really is a spectrum. I mean, on the one hand, there's healthy curiosity, but then on the other hand, it can also become an obsession. And this is not a new phenomenon. In fact, there have been cases such as Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, back in the 1980s. He actually married one of his groupies. And of course, Charles Manson and Ted Bundy and others had legions of groupies. So, why does this happen? Well, I think there's a couple of things at work here. Technology is one of them, and you mentioned that. There are those individuals who I think are seeking their own 15 minutes of fame by injecting themselves into the investigation, into the case, and they become almost like demi-celebrities in their own right. You have other individuals that I would say are lacking something in self-esteem or an emotional deficit, where they feel that they can fill up this hole somehow inside of them by vicariously associating with these types of individuals. And that really gets to the groupie phenomenon. And with the female groupies, with the male perpetrators, I like to call that the bad boy syndrome. And what I mean by that is, he may be a bad boy, but he's my bad boy. I'm the only one who understands him. We're soulmates. I get him. No one else does. And so once again, that gives a person, the groupie, self-esteem, makes her very special, so that she becomes fulfilled. That's something that's missing in her. And these individuals, do become sort of demi-celebrities.
I remember the first time I saw this, Dr. Bond, was in Parkland with the Parkland massacre, that awful school shooting. And the suspect there, we requested through a public records request all of his mail, and he was getting all of this mail. And some of it was interesting. It was people sort of trying to understand his frame of mind, which I could sort of understand. But then there were these women like sending him sexual messages, almost like there was a very strange attraction to this killer. And I could never wrap my mind around it. But I guess this bad boy syndrome that you're talking about, but it's still, I think for most people sitting at home, it's just hard to really understand.
Well, again, I wouldn't necessarily say that these really extreme groupies are necessarily mentally ill, but I would say that there's something missing there, something that draws them to this, whether it's an emotional deficit, as I said, or something, a personality disorder, where they literally, I think, have a hole inside of them emotionally, and they're looking to fill it up by this vicarious association. And if you think about it, somebody like Ted Bundy is the ultimate fixer-upper. I've heard some of my female friends talk about they're attracted to fixer-uppers. Well, a serial killer or a convicted murderer is the ultimate fixer-upper. He's not going anywhere. You know where he is. And to the extent that you become his soulmate, then you are special by association. And I think that's a large part of what's going on here.
Yeah, and I guess to an extent, like you said, with social media, they can hide behind their computer. They can almost get close to the danger, but it's not actually dangerous for them, knowing that these men, are likely in prison for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. They're not going anywhere. I don't have to worry about where he is. I know his cell number, so he's not going anywhere. But what you just mentioned, Bryan, is actually, I think, part of the appeal of true crime in general. It allows us to get close to the flame without getting actually burned. And with the groupies, they're taking it to an extreme. They're taking it to the point that they actually have a relationship, developing a relationship, even if it's only through the mail or on the telephone. But they're intimately involved with this individual. They're in their life, so they get that vicarious thrill that they're looking for, or the fulfillment that they're looking for.
It's so strange to think about. Obviously, a major distinction, because I know all sorts of true crime fans, and that's pretty normal these days to be interested in cases, and a lot of people genuinely want to help solve them, or they have genuine sorrow for the victims. But to take it to the next level, the groupies, as they call it, or the attraction to a serial killer, like you said, I mean, some of these folks may need serious help.
Okay, this is going to play, so let me just... Okay, I think it's actually... Nope. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to show you those clips there. Okay, so this is all new to me. I've never dealt with a case where there has been so many groupies towards the person that's charged. I wasn't here during, like the Chris Watts case and things like that to see the groupies. But this to me is something that I can't comprehend. The only reason why I can think of that these women love these inmates these are my reasoning. The inmates are going to tell these women anything they want to hear. I love you babies, the baby, when I get out, we're going to get married. Even if they're in their sentence to the rest of their life, they still will mention these things. They do this so that these women will put money on their commissary. Point blank, period, done. These inmates know they're never going to get out to be intimate with these women, or to have to go take these women to a dinner or go on an actual date. So they can baby all day long. I'm sure everybody in their 20s or maybe even in their 30s has dated that guy that always was like, baby, you mean everything to me. And they, in fact, were probably not the greatest. I think we've all had that kind of a relationship. So with that being said, let me know your comments on this subject below in the comment section. Would you guys ever date an inmate? Let me know your true feelings. Maybe if it's an inmate, that's not going to be in jail for a very long time, somebody that hasn't, done anything really horrible. I don't see that being a problem. But if it's somebody that's in jail for the rest of their life or prison for the rest of their life, do you think that you could date somebody like that? And really think about it. No judging in the comments either. I want to know everybody's true feelings about the subject. Let me know, like I said, what you guys think in the comments below. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me for yet another upload, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys.